All right, let me check the feed. See if we live. Shalom. All right, shalom, shalom. Bear with us.
We're good to go.
Yeah, we're good.
Good to go?
Cool.
All right, shalom, shalom. There we go. All right, let's get right into it.
Elon Musk taking drastic action as the new owner of Twitter, following through with massive job cuts, employees learning their fate by email. ABC's Rena Roy is live for us in California.
Goddamn, by the email. Damn.
Elon Musk taking drastic action as the new owner of Twitter, following through with massive job cuts, employees learning their fate by email. ABC's Rena Roy is live for us in California as some former workers are now fighting back with a class action lawsuit. Rena, good morning. Janae, good morning to you. That's right. Thousands of people are now without a job, including some that work on U.S. elections to help police misinformation and malicious content on Twitter. That's according to Politico, and this is coming just days ahead of the crucial midterm elections. This morning, nearly half of Twitter's workforce waking up without a job. The massive layoffs coming 1 week after Elon Musk's takeover of the social media giant. Thousands of workers getting the same email Friday morning, reading in part, "Today is your last working day at the company." Musk explaining this action is unfortunately necessary to ensure the company's success moving forward. Amid the backlash, Musk tweeting overnight, "Power to the people."
It seems difficult to me to understand how you would be able to correctly evaluate so many people's positions and performances and, the value of roles in such a small period of time.
Employees telling us they were immediately locked out of all work accounts.
I found that my work laptop was remotely wiped and access to Slack and Gmail revoked.
Musk says those who were laid off will be getting compensation and benefits through the end of the year and severance packages. But many are vowing to fight back, filing a proposed class action lawsuit against Twitter in federal court.
We're hopeful that we don't need to litigate this case for months or for years. I'm hopeful that Elon Musk has learned his lesson from the earlier case we brought against Tesla.
This coming amid a growing list of changes to the platform. Musk also considering an $8 monthly fee for verified users to keep their blue check marks. The billionaire tweeting overnight, "Trash me all day, but it'll cost $8. Many now rethinking the value of that verified check.
It's only $8 a month. Some people that complaining about that.
This plan also part of his effort to bring in more cash with Twitter's ad revenue down. Some companies pausing advertising on the site as they wait to see how things shake out under this new leadership. And Musk is blaming pressure from activist groups for that massive drop in advertising revenue. He's calling it an attack on the First Amendment. Eva?
Rena Roy for us here. Thank you. Well, hey there, GMA fan.
All right. Shalom, shalom. All right. GMS Charlotte back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Wadash. And before we get started, okay, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakak Wadash. Hey, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. All right, so we're back at you with another lesson through the Holy Spirit, Rakak Wadash. And we just want to get into this thing, man. This is news and prophecy. Okay. Famine of the word and no work for Egypt. All right. And all these things are happening at one time. All right. People are being cut off from work. As the scriptures tell us that there would be no work for Egypt. We're going to get that scripture as well. And this is heavy times. All these things are the signs of what? Of a failing economy. All right. Of a failing system. All right. And all you people out there that put your hope and trust in Egypt, all right, is going to lead to your shame and confusion. We might as well start with that. Somebody give me that real quick. Isaiah 30.
Con.
All right. It's going down out here, man. All right. People out of work. All right. We're going to get into the diesel shortages. Okay. The famine of food. Hey, 2023, basically, as we were talking about this lesson last night, this is all preparation for 2023.
Yeah, hell.
Hey, 2023 is going to be a hell of a year. You got Trump. He just announced he's running for president.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about at camp yesterday, it's going to play in. It's going to further push that division throughout society, man. Everybody throughout America is politically divided, man. So this shit is about to get crazy out here, man. And y'all brothers to speak, you know.
Con. I got that scripture for you.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 30:1. Woe to rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Yeah, see, in our people, you Israelites, all right, you take a covering, but it's not of the Lord's Spirit, all right. And what's going on now? Go cast your vote, all right. Niggas really believe that they vote counts,
Right.
You know. You ain't learned yet,
Right.
you know. The same scam every 4 years, man. Right? Go ahead.
If I might add, that just goes to show you that our people, they don't learn, man. Because here it is, when Trump won the election the first time, you had everybody crying, you know, specifically our people. So they begged for Biden to get into office. They got Biden. Biden destroyed the economy. Now our people are so distraught. They're ready to run to the polls and put Trump back in office, man.
Man,
You know, that shows you that they trust in Egypt, man.
that's right.
Verse 2 says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen himself in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the strength of Pharaoh, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Right, and this is what's going on now. All right, your trust in the shadow of Egypt, your trust in Pharaoh has led to your shame and confusion because people are confused. They're perplexed. They can't understand why are all of these people getting laid off. What's going on? All right, people are just getting dropped from their jobs, man. People are struggling to make it, man. You know, as we talked about, what the elites are pretty much, you know, squeezing these people throughout society. Your pockets are being squeezed. You see that the price of living has drastically changed. You know, so all this is what leading into the financial calamity of America, man. Right, which is going to lead to your shame and confusion. Right? Any more, Rob?
That was no, yeah, that was a point of Isaiah 30.
Khan, you brothers can speak. Go ahead.
Just to add on to perplexity that we see happening, Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. Okay, and we see that happening now. We saw just this past week that there was the lunar eclipse, you know, which was you know, a sign in the heavens, you know, on the day of the midterm elections, you know, pretty much as a foreshadowing of the year and what this country is about to take the turn that America is about to go into, you know. And upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Now, when you look up this word perplexity in the blue letter, it is G640, aporeia. And when you look up the root word of aporeia, it's G639, aporeo. For perplexity, it says to be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn, okay? Not to know how to decide or what to do, to be at loss with oneself, be in doubt. And what we see happening here with this economic collapse that's fastly approaching, Jake is in straits. Jake doesn't really understand where to go with this. Jake doesn't know the direction that they're going in. Just like how Pre said, you had Jake run down to the polls to vote for Biden, and now they're quick to turn around and vote for Trump.
Right.
Showing you that they're just completely confused and don't really have any stable mind to really navigate through these times, you know.
Right.
And it's only going to get worse from here, man. It's not going to get better. Jake is completely lost in the sauce, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could add real quick too, that's why you had that story come out with that woman who pretty much was, bogged down with the cost of living. So she decided to take her daughter and pretty much go in front of a train and kill herself and her kid because she couldn't afford to keep up with the cost of living, man. And that's going to be the state of a lot of people, coming in the near future, because as prices continue to rise, all right, these companies aren't willing to increase the pay. Because that's all I hear at my job is people asking, is the job going to, increase, our pay, because things are getting higher, man. Gas is getting higher, food is getting higher. So these jobs are not paying, anymore or any different. So it's making everything harder.
That's it, man. Hey, get Isaiah 33:6 before I play this clip real fast.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure."
Right. So wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times, man. So as things worsen out here in America, if you don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, if you don't have the true covering of Yahweh Shem Shai, you're not going to have any mental stability, all right, when this shit gets hard out here, man.
Right.
Right? Like I showed in the screen real quick. All right. Here comes programmable dollars. New York Fed and 12 banking giants launch digital dollar test. All right. So they're getting ready to take away paper money, man. All right. Everything, as you already know, is going digital. So my point, when as life as you know it is about to change, and if you don't have the stability through the Holy Spirit, you're not gonna make it out here, man. Just to make that example of Priest, what he was just going into. All right, that woman couldn't afford the price of living anymore, so she lost it, and she took her daughter and went right in front of a train and killed herself. Right, and that's going to be the mindset of a lot of people out here that put their trust in their bank account, their carnal riches, your degrees that you got, all your accolades that you achieved in the world. All that shit is not going to matter. All right, once it's all taken away, then what are you going to have to lean upon? You see that? But the sincere, the ones that believe in the Lord, they got the spirit. They got Yahweh Shai, man. We're going to lean and trust on him, because that's the only thing that's going to get us through these times that's coming on the earth,
Okay. I had a precept for you right quick, Elder, if I may.
You got it, bro.
Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
Ooh, you got it, brother. Speak on it.
God. So just like how the elder was saying, man, like all these things that Jake is clinging onto, right? It's not going to profit them in the times that we're coming into. You see, only Yahweh Shem Shai's truth is going to be able to be of any value, to be of profit, of worth in that day.
Yeah.
It stood the test of time.
That's it.
Right. I got something real quick.
You got something?
You can play that first, and I can get it.
All right, I got you.
Our badges, they taking our vests and making us hand over our vests, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy, man. Like, we really just getting walked out right now, bro. Like, I didn't think that the 10,000 people being...
Hey, you can hear the confusion and distress in his voice. He's like, yo, what the fuck's going on? And that's going to be the mindset of thousands, millions of people around the world. That perplexity, that confusion, man. They like, yo, what the fuck, Like, how am I? What am I supposed to do? How am I going to work? How am I going to eat? You see what I'm saying? That uncertainty is really about to plague these people out here. And if you don't have the stability of the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're going to be through out here, man. This is what we're trying to tell you. You see that? You got it, Doc.
Yeah, that's perfect for that Ecclesiastes 12 then.
Yep.
I'll hold that then. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. Well, I started 2. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
And who are the keepers of the house? All right, those are the people who watch over the economy, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your economic strategists, your top investors. You know, the people who are over Wall Street, right? These would represent the keepers of the house, the people who watch over the economy. All right, and what's being pushed? Buy gold. You know, buy up gold, silver,
Tangible objects.
tangible objects. You know, people see that the stock market is pretty much up and down, and you know, and Tazawam, you can speak on that. You know,
Just to add on to that, if I could share my screen, did you want me to go into that right now?
yeah, if you got something to say on there, if you want to share anything real quick before the brother goes back to the Ecclesiastes 12.
Okay.
You know,
No, I'll just speak on it right quick.
Go ahead.
There was a posting from Investopedia. Damn, I just had it. Bear with me one moment.
No, take your time. You know,
Just had it.
I'm gonna play that clip again too.
Our badges, they taking our vest and making us hand over our vest, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy, man. Like, we really just getting walked out right now, bro. Like, I didn't think that the 10,000 people get.
Boom. Come on, man. You know, you found it out.
Yeah, I got it. So you had the International Monetary Fund warn of a worsening economy when they had their G20 ahead of the G20 summit, and pretty much they highlighted that the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor 500 index, which is pretty much like a more accurate depiction of like average everyday Americans, how they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It said that the S&P 500 index in the first 9 months of the year fell 24%. Only 5 full calendar years have had a worse annual return. 3 years in the Great Depression, all right, in the 1930s, plus 1974 and 2008 when the global financial crisis hit. So pretty much they're alluding that the fact that what we see happening now is on par with the past recessions and depression.
Yeah.
That's the direction that is, that we're going into.
Right. Because America's economy never really got out of the recession.
Right.
Right. Are you talking about what, 2007? You see?
I believe so.
Right. 2008, you know, somewhere in there. But you go ahead and read that scripture again, and then we'll read this article.
Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
And the grinders cease because they are few, man. And remember, prior to the Crown 99 hitting the scene, it wasn't a coincidence of all these top CEOs stepping down from their positions.
Right.
What did they know? Right?
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Yeah, those that look out of the windows be darkened, because what's happening? People are getting laid off. Businesses are closing, man. All right. Companies are scaling back.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Kind. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low.
You see that? And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low. All right. That's the lack of jobs, the lack of work. All right. We live in a gig economy. People have 4 or 5 side jobs just to make ends meet now.
Right.
You know, go ahead.
When the sound of the grinding is low, he shall rise up to the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Yeah, that's it. So everything in the society is being brought low. It's falling apart.
Kind. And Baba Kushai, let me get this in the NLT. This heavy.
Kind.
It says, remember him before the doors to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades. Now you rise first at the chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint. Just pretty much going into it, all these jobs are pretty much going to be non-existent in these upcoming days, man. Because as you said, man, these companies are pretty much going belly up, man. So it's going to be harder and harder for people to find work out here.
That's it. That's it. I'm gonna scroll through this article real fast. All right, this is from the NOQ report. All right, this came out November 17th, about 3 days ago. It says Bidenomics, top 10 companies that announce massive layoffs just in the last 10 days. And we just saw an example of that with Amazon. All right, they fired 10,000 employees.
And Twitter.
And Twitter too, as we saw in the intro here in the beginning. All right, all these top companies. Let's go through them real quick. All right, so reading on. And it reads, it says, have you noticed that the pace of layoff announcements has gotten rather fast and furious lately? Many of the biggest companies in the entire country are now conducting mass firings. And this is reminding many analysis of what we witnessed back in 2008. You see, it's the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
During the Great Recession, millions of Americans ultimately lost their jobs. We will see a similar thing happen. Will we see a similar thing happen this time around? Let's hope not. But right now, the signs are not encouraging. All right. No hope for Egypt, man. No. You see what I'm saying? No restoring this place. It says the following are 10 major layoff announcements, which have all happened within the past 10 days. All right, we're just going to flow through the list, but it says Garnett, the owner of USA Today. It says the owner of USA Today, the local news operations in 45 states, announced Thursday another round of job cuts in the company's news division after a third quarter loss in an earlier series of cost-cutting measures. All right, so it goes into the numbers of staff that they laid off, the percentage. Then you got Roku. Okay, Roku is the latest technology and media player to slash jobs, revealing a securities filing Thursday that plans to reduce its workforce by 5%, about 200 jobs. CNN, all right, people getting laid off there. Cisco, General Electric Appliances, what's this? Asana, okay, Outside Media, right? Lyft, Twitter, Amazon, and many more to come. So let's read on and grab some scriptures, and I'll post this in the description box so you can read on your own. But we want to get straight to the point. All right.
If I may add as well, to those numbers, though 5% may seem small, that's a big issue.
Okay.
Because overall it's showing that the flow of money is slowing up,
Okay.
And what's ultimately going to happen is that workforce that they've cut is now going to have to transition that workload onto the remaining employees, which is going to increase the amount of burnout that we already experience right now.
That's right.
And productivity is going to decrease. The quality of work is going to decrease. Everything just creates a cycle of a shitty company.
Yeah,
Right.
beautiful.
Because with more work, the employees are going to expect more pay, and these companies ain't going to increase that, man.
Con. Beautifully put. I'm gonna read on a little bit more. It says, of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, what we will see in 2023 and beyond is likely to be far worse. And as we've been telling you through the spirit, all right, we're in November right now, man. We're just literally a month and some change away of the so-called new year going into 2023. And we understand that this is all preparation, all right, to bring in 2023, the year from hell, man. It's going to be terrible, man. It's going to get tougher.
All
right.
If I could add to that point, with the Amazon layoff like that, I believe they said Jeff Bezos told those people that pretty much, don't celebrate Christmas. Because you got to make sure, if you got to live, don't celebrate Christmas. Now you ain't got a job, you can't buy nothing.
Damn. Man, it says the U.S. economy is already slowing down dramatically. You see that? The U.S. economy is already slowing down dramatically, but the Fed seems determined to hike interest rates even higher. You see that? So it's going to be tougher to live. It's going to be tougher to get groceries and food. Like the brother just said, you know, you trying to celebrate Christmas, you ain't doing nothing, right? And let's not forget about the diesel shortages too. We're going to play that next. It says they are committing economic malpractice right in front of our eyes. And what they are doing is going to severely hurt countless numbers of our fellow citizens. All right. So this is all set up, okay, to bring that squeeze, to put the people in straits. And as we read, man, the trust in the shadow of Egypt is going to lead to your shame and confusion. All right. Real quick, can you get Isaiah 19 and 15?
Con. This is real quick. You said Isaiah 19 and 15?
Con.
All right, Isaiah 19 and 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do.
Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, neither tail, branch, or rush may do, man. All right, everybody's catching hell. All right, from top to bottom. All right, that's the prophecy. Neither should there be any work for Egypt, man. So essentially, Egypt, America is drying up. The economy is decreasing dramatically, as we read. Okay, these companies can no longer pay these people.
Right.
You know. Go ahead. I'll just add something.
Yeah, real quick. This is Second Esdras 16 and 21. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Man,
and I brought this out because we had during the demic, all right, people was already kind of in a messed up state, but things were still, you know, somewhat good. So by what was that, like 2020, right? Demic. So from 2020 to 2022, look how things have dramatically gotten worse, you know, and the people's confusion is growing even more. So now you're seeing, you know, the price of living going up, which is putting people in a state of confusion, which is making them lash out against each other more. And then the economy is continually getting worse, and these people are just going to, you know, run the Esau even more now, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Priest Baba Kushah, could you read down to verse 37 right quick?
Talking about skip down there?
Yes, get down there.
Kind. Second Ezra 16 and 37. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
Right, and that's exactly what that article has said. Isn't it coincidental that all of these mass layoffs are happening fast and furiously?
Yep.
You know, because these plagues aren't slack, man. This is going to continue to happen and occur because of the stage that's being set by these elites, man. They're pretty much putting these people into a bottleneck, and they're squeezing you into this new world order. You know, they're creating this state of, you know, fear,
right,
state of dependency, so that they can ultimately control you, man.
That's it.
Because these people are void of any faith in the Lord, man. They don't have any stability other than Esau, Edom. They trust in Pharaoh. They trust in Egypt.
Con.
And that go back to how.
Go ahead, Slacky. Go ahead.
Slacky, I was gonna say that go back to the example that we got shown a couple of years ago when they shut the government down, and you had all the people crying for Trump to open the government back up. This is the same thing, but way worse, because with this thing going on, the economy is not going to go back. You know, once they shut this thing down, that's going to be it. You know, which is what they want.
Yep, exactly. Hey, can you read Isaiah 19 and verse 4? Since we were just talking about that, how, you know, the elites are putting that pressure on.
This is Isaiah 19. I started 3.
Go ahead.
It says, "In the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof."
And we see that now. People are losing hope. People are losing hope and trust in the system, man. The spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Nobody believes Biden. Nobody trusts these politicians or nothing.
And that's spirit, because then the NLT just argued the first part. It says, "The Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans."
Ooh, man.
So back in the King James, it says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy of the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into a cruel, it's like into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts."
Right. So Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, he's using these elites to put on that squeeze to choke the people out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are they not the left hand of the Lord? Because at the end of the day, it's Yahweh Shema Shai that's guiding all of this.
That's right.
Isaiah 45:7. The Lord said he controls the good and the evil.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the judgment of Babylon the Great, man. All right. Which the Lord is allowing the elites, all right, to draw this place out. Okay. So we're gonna play this clip real quick. Y'all brothers have anything else? We'll get into this real quick. All right, before we move on. Just adding in to the topic of no work for Egypt. Okay. It says Tucker Carlson warns everything will stop by Thanksgiving due to diesel shortage. And we played this a couple weeks ago. All right, we're gonna play it again. All right.
Immediately. So what is this jihad going to mean for you? Well, the details are stunning. Thanks to the Biden administration's religious war in Ukraine, this country is about to run out of diesel fuel. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, by the Monday of Thanksgiving week, that's 25 days from now, there will be no more diesel. So what's going to happen then? Well, everything will stop. That means trucks and trains and barges all unable to move. Farm equipment will shut down. There will be no deliveries because there will be no trucks. There will be no diesel generators. And then inevitably our economy will crash because everything runs on diesel fuel. Not on solar panels, not on wind farms, on diesel fuel. Diesel is not a negotiable commodity. You have to have diesel. So what happens when we don't have it? Well, yesterday, Fox's Jackie Heinrich, apparently alone in the White House press corps, asked the White House spokesman, John Kirby, that very question. What's the plan here? We're running out of diesel. John Kirby, standing at the podium, representing the White House, the President of the United States, the administration, the largest organization in human history, the executive branch of government, had no answer. But don't worry, he said, we will be exporting plenty of energy to Europe to help fight that progressive crusade in Ukraine. Watch.
What are we doing to increase the supply of diesel, given that the Energy Information Administration said as of October 14th, the U.S. only had a 25-day supply? You have the Northeast and New York already rationing home heating oil. What are we doing to prepare for the winter to ramp up the supply of diesel?
I'll take the question on the diesel because I just don't have the data on that in front of me. So let me take that.
And these guys, they don't have the answers. All right. That's the thing. See, that's why the Lord has smitten Egypt with confusion, man. There's no solution. There's no matter of fact, get that real quick. Jeremiah 51 in verse 9. Somebody get that real quick. There's no answer for the judgments of the Lord, man. All right. The Lord is making this thing painfully clear for those who doubt, that try to say, you know, we don't know what we're talking about, all that shit, man. It's all being placed right in front of your eyes. So what do you got to say?
Right.
This is Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country.
Yeah, go ahead.
For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies.
Right. For her judgment, Babylon the Great, America, have reached up to heaven. Her judgments have been lifted up to the skies. This place is about to be greatly rewarded. It's being rewarded now. We're seeing the internal breakdown of the society.
Right.
All right, economically, politically, all right, morally, right? These are all signs of a decaying kingdom that cannot be healed. All right. There's no plan that can be put in place to restore the strength of America, man. All right. Y'all brothers got anything you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, if I may just add to you right quick. It was an article that was posted back in 2017 from the Pentagon. It's still relevant to what we're discussing now. It was a Pentagon study that declared America's empire is collapsing.
Hmm.
It says an extraordinary new Pentagon study has concluded that the U.S.-backed framework of international order established after World War II is fraying and may even be collapsing, leading the United States to lose its position of primacy in world affairs. And now we're starting to see the unraveling in this very day. You know, that was posted back in 2017, and now we're living in that collapse, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. I got two real quick, Bubba Kashaw.
You got it.
All right, first one, this from Quantum Wolf off the comment board. Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Because at the end of the day, these Edomites don't have the answer to try to save their economy, man, to save their kingdom. Because see, the Most High is doing this, systematically to implode Babylon from the inside out, which is going to solidify its destruction, man.
That's it.
Because even though we know these elites are purposely doing this, we know that it's Yahweh Shimei Shah ultimately using this as a means to destroy, Esau's kingdom.
That's it.
And then one more. This is Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trusteth in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him, right? Because this country is broken, and there's no, as we just read, there's no healing to Babylon the Great. For all our people who trust in this kingdom, man, it's going to be to your detriment, man, because the Lord is going to destroy this place, whether you know it or not, man. And if all you that want to continue to stay on the ship, you're going to go down with the ship, just like the Titanic.
That's it. Play some more.
And we'll get back to you on that. But writ large, the president has been working very, very hard to make sure that we're that not only are we ready for fluctuations that could come, and of course the prices are going down, and we think that's important, but that we are also doing what we can to help our European friends and partners who are also going to be facing a long, cold winter. We have doubled our commitment. The commitment he made in March for natural gas exports to Europe, we doubled that commitment in terms of actual, getting things over there, getting natural gas over there. And we are working with foreign suppliers of natural gas and oil to see if we can't help our European partners diversify their own storage and supplies.
So just pause and savor the irony here just for a moment, because now everything is irony. They've been telling you for decades, since Al Gore left the White House, that the single greatest threat to the world was warming. And because of their efforts to fight warming, you are in danger of freezing. And unlike warming, freezing actually kills people, a lot of people every year. And it will kill people in the West this year, thanks to their efforts to fight warming. Okay. The second thing to notice is the White House spokesman's totally uninterested, blasé response to the most basic question anyone could ask, which is, what are we doing about the fact we're running out of diesel fuel?
See? And these niggas ain't got the answer. That's why, man. This is all set up. This was all set up by design, all right, to destroy you people, man, to make you people starve and suffer, all right? And that's why eventually it's going to lead to the uproars. It's going to lead to the seditions and the revolutions, man. All right, people are tired. They're fed up. They're tired of being lied to. You see what I'm saying? That's why, as we're going to get in a second, as we said before, the Donald Trump, rerunning for presidency, it's going to stir up a lot of division and hatred, man, for this shit to go down,
Mm-hmm.
And he has no idea, and he's not embarrassed that he has no idea. The problem is, at this point, there may not be an answer, because there may not be a way to avoid a disaster. Diesel fuel is not just low in this country, it's low in every Western nation that has aligned itself with Ukraine. All these nations preparing for World War Trans are running out of diesel fuel. As New York Magazine has reported, the last time there was this little supply of diesel, there were about 3.5 billion fewer people on the planet. Well, that's perspective. So the Biden administration responded, as you know, earlier this year to rising gas prices, which they feared above all because the midterms are coming in 2 weeks, by tapping the strategic petroleum reserves. But that will not work here. The Northeast Home Heating Oil Reserve contains 1 million barrels of diesel in case of emergencies. The problem is the demand is so high across the board that, according to the Washington Post, even if the Biden administration used every single barrel in that stockpile would be empty in less than 6 hours.
Damn.
It's not just diesel that's running out. Jet fuel is up about 23% in just the last month. Kerosene, which if you don't live in New York City, you know perfectly well is used to heat people's homes and keep them from dying, is now close to $7 a gallon. Who else heats with kerosene, by the way? Poor people heat with kerosene. And they're the ones who can't get it. $7 a gallon. In New England, people are worried about freezing to death this winter. Here's a local Fox report.
West Hartford homeowner Sharona Resnick-Kravitz has been paying for oil to heat her home for more than 35 years.
I mean, this is New England. It gets cold here. We're cold.
Sharona is a widow living on a fixed income. She says before her husband passed away, they shared the bills. Now she is having to make sacrifices. How are you preparing and trying to figure out?
And this is the situation of a lot of people out here in Babylon, man. You know? We'll play a little bit more.
What can you sacrifice at this point?
Food. I go to the grocery store and I'm very frugal about what I buy.
She tells me at $6 a gallon, buying oil has become a huge burden. The average home uses 800 gallons of oil per year. That's almost $5,000 at the current rate.
This shouldn't be happening in this of all countries. The United States has some of the deepest, by some measures, the deepest energy reserves on the planet. It's our main strength. Cheap energy is the reason this is a rich country. That's the reason. That's why we're exceptional, because we have cheap energy. And this country was energy independent just a few years ago. Now, if you want to fix the economy, you would make this country energy independent once again. You would bring
Right. So the point, all right, you see that it's over, man. No healing of Babylon. All right. You know, so it's about 13 minutes, but you know, the point was made there. All right. You can watch the rest on your own. All right. So as I was saying, right, just adding more fuel to the fire. All right. Now you got Trump announcing that he's running for president. See, people are being hit with confusion on every side, as the scriptures say, man. There's all types of shit going on. You know, all these things that are playing on the minds of the people, playing on people's emotions, right? So that's how we know, as we said, as we get into 2023, things are about to turn up even more, all right? So this Trump running for president again, all right, is gonna further push the divisions throughout society, the civil wars, the hatred, et cetera, because, hey, people want Biden out of office.
Right.
You know, they tired of him, man. You see? So let's play this real quick. And brothers can add in on anything, you know, before we go into the famine of the word, you know?
Okay, I got one after this.
Got you.
From Election Day 2024, and for the last 2 years, Donald Trump has been claiming the 2020 election was stolen from him, but the former president is now officially ready for 2024. Last night, he announced he is running to get back into the White House, and he does it in the face of legal troubles. And after just a couple days from a disastrous midterm where many of the candidates he endorsed were defeated or underperformed. Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett was at Mar-a-Lago for the announcement, and he joins us now from Palm Beach. Major, you've seen a lot in politics, but you've never seen this. Good morning. What was it like?
All right. So somebody give me real quick. Get Isaiah 19:2. Right. You know, we're not gonna play that whole clip. I just wanted to let that run for a few seconds. All right. Give me Isaiah 19:2 by Rashad.
This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Right. So 2024 is supposed to be the election year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we go into 2023, it's going like you're gonna see the division, the Egyptian versus the Egyptian, Esau versus Esau. Esau's politically divided, you know, through political views, religious views, whatever the case is. Because right now, the energy that's being the energy that's being set down in America is that you either with Biden or you with Trump. You see what I'm saying? That's the energy that's being pushed right now. Who you with? You see? So that's the division that's here, man. All right, Egyptian versus Egyptian. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I was gonna add as well, even within these various, within the two parties, there's even division amongst themselves, So it's just mass division. If I may get a quick precept right fast.
You got it, brother.
Let's see.
Somebody hold Mark 3:23.
That's the spirit. I'm about to get that right now.
Con.
This is Mark 3 and verse 23. It reads, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Bear with me one moment. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
Right.
And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Break it down.
It's a little bit more. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but half an end. Okay. So the division that we see being stirred up right now, man, like this is the sign that this man's system is collapsing, man. Here it is. We have in this country all these problems that these people cannot agree upon. It's at the point to where they're just divided, and they just are their actions are speaking for themselves that this is a society that's collapsing.
Because at the end
of the day,
at the end of the day, they're blaming each other, for why the reasons why this thing is pretty much destroyed. Because here it is on one end of the spectrum, you have a lot of these, patriotic Edomites who look at Biden as the reason why their country is being ruined. And then on the other side of the spectrum, the ones that wanted him, all right, they look at Trump as a means of him trying to reverse everything that Biden has done, to pretty much bring back how it was before he was in office the first time. So that division is ultimately tearing this country apart, which shows you that this place is incurable. Just real quick to add to that point, Jeremiah 30:12, for thus saith the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. Because no matter who is in office, nobody's saving America from this impending destruction, man. Because at the end of the day, we all know that they're puppets anyway. But for the simple fact of, like Atazwan said, man, the amount of debt that America owes, there's nothing that they can do to pretty much pay that debt. All right, you can't solve these different problems that we've been talking about this whole lesson. So this place is just ultimately through, man.
That's it. Stick a fork in it. All right. Hey, go to Luke 12 real quick, just to add one more before we move on. Go to Luke 12 and read 49 to 51, Baba Kushab.
Got one more verse while you get that, bro. Verse 13. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. So nobody can help America at this point, man. Like you said, stick a fork in her. She's done.
That's right, brother. That's a heavy precept. There's no healing of that. There's no healing of that bruise. All right, this place is forever wounded. It's no restore. It's no bouncing back. All right, I'm gonna read this real quick. This is Luke 12 and this is Luke 12 and 49, and it reads. This is red letter Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, "I come to send fire on earth." It says, "And what will I if it already be kindled?" Verse 50, "I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straightened until it be accomplished?" All right, verse 51, the point. Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. All right. So this division that's playing out through society, this is all the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. And as we were saying at camp, that shows you that the Lord is not with the whole unity spirit, man, all coming together. Right. The Lord is with division, separation. Verse 52. Luke 12:52, it says, for from henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You see that? So within the house, there's going to be division, and we've seen that through what? Crown 99.
Exactly.
That Crown 99 divided up the household, man. You wasn't able to come to the cookout. You couldn't come to the wedding, the barbecue, or none of that. The baby shower, you was banned. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way now. Your political beliefs, who you believe in, who are you, Democrat? Are you Republican? Are you a liberal?
Right.
Division amongst that. You see what I'm saying? What are your religious beliefs? What do you believe in?
Right.
You know, so it's division on every side, Jay.
Hey, and with Trump, putting his hat back into the presidential race, man. For those that family members that oppose that, that's going to create a lot of friction within the House too, because they looked at Trump as the reason why everything went to shit the first time. So with him running again, the same ones that want him back in office, they probably going to cut them off for real this time. But just to add another point to that as well, with Elon Musk taking control over Twitter again, he has allowed Trump to get his Twitter account back, which is just further, adding to the point of where they're monitoring who aligns with his belief, because he's putting on the persona like he's he's for America. So these Edomites that are for America that are going to come up against the government, because as we know with that whole January 6th situation, which was staged, he's setting the stage for that categorization so that Esau knows, who to come with, come down upon.
Exactly.
I got a quick one for you. Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Which you always go into that accuser being the pretty much the categorized, man.
Yep.
So that he knows who to put where, so that he knows who to come after, man.
Exactly. Everything to categorize everybody, man. It's all being set up, And I just put this up in the screen because in this article, I'm not going to read it, but it talks about how Michelle Obama is entertaining the idea of running for president, right? So if that shit happens, just hey, just imagine the division and the things that's going to happen when that goes down. If it were to go down, you see what I'm saying? So I show that just to show you that confusion is being amplified, man. This thing is going to go out epically, man. All right. So anyway, segueing onto the famine of the word. Let's talk about that too, because all this plays hand in hand. All right. So we're going to get into with Elon Musk. All right, because he's been set up with power, and these things that's going on with Twitter and the freedom of speech and social media is all leading to what? The famine of the word. All right. And before we get into it, they had that ADL meeting about a week or so ago, and you had Elon Musk. He was out there, and then right here, as I'm going to play in this clip, you got the FBI director, Christopher Wray. Now listen to what he says. It's 13 minutes. We're not going to play this whole thing, but we're just going to, just extrapolate, bits and pieces. But hear what he says, right?
Jonathan, and my thanks to everybody at ADL for inviting me here this morning. I've been in this line of work in one way or another for a long time now, starting out as a line prosecutor in the 90s, and then in various roles in the Justice Department, which, among other things, included time overseeing what was then OSI, the Office of Special Investigations, or as they were more commonly known, the Nazi hunters, whose particularly rewarding work demonstrated to the world and anyone who might contemplate heinous crimes against the Jewish people that we're going to hunt murderers right down to their dying days.
You see this?
Wow.
They're making it clear. All right. And see, this whole ADL thing is basically a hedge. All right, it's a hedge of protection for the small hats, the 48ers. All right, so this was created for anybody to come against their narrative, the things that they do in the exposure is all to silence them, man. This is what it's all about. Okay, so this shows you, all right, that they have the power. Okay, they've created a confederacy, man. Right, that gives them protection. Okay, that you can't speak out against them, that you can't come against them, right? And this is the FBI director that you just heard say this, man. Anybody that comes against the 48ers will be hunted down. All right.
And I'm proud to say that it helped the U.S. track down, denaturalize, and deport more Nazis than all other countries combined.
All right, so you see where this is headed. Let's get to the article real quick, man. Right. You already see where it's headed, man. You're seeing all the psyops going out. You know, the small hats are under attack. Synagogues are being vandalized. Graves are being vandalized. All types of shit, right? The narrative is out there. They're the victims. All right. It says Jewish users are subject to unrelenting harassment. You see? These people now are subject to unrelenting harassment. Boo fucking who, right? It says 180 organizations call on Elon Musk to combat anti-Sim on Twitter. You see that? 180 organizations call on Elon Musk to combat anti-Sim on Twitter. All right, I'm gonna just read this point here. All right. It says a group of 180 organizations have called on Twitter owner Elon Musk to combat anti-Sim on the social media platform. Now, what's heavy before I read on, like you were saying, Trump just got reactivated on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other guy, Andrew Tate? Didn't he get just reactivated too?
Yep.
Now, weren't these two guys, weren't they not just banned off Twitter for their beliefs and their views, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you see how they're back on Twitter. So now this is going to result into the removal of freedom of speech. You see what I'm saying? There's a bigger agenda involved. Right. So it's not a coincidence that these two main guys that were hated by the world are activated back on Twitter again. You see? You got to see between the lines. Read on. It says, to maximize the probability that the future is good, the world needs an online platform where everyone can participate, states the Wednesday letter. Quote, unfortunately, this is not the case, as Jewish users are subject to unrelenting harassment on Twitter. It says the non-governmental organizations and civil rights groups called on Musk, who purchased Twitter last month for $44 billion, to have Twitter adopt International Hollow Fraud Remembrance Alliance. You see this? You see how many alliances and leagues these niggas got? You know, to have Twitter adopt the International Hollow Fraud Remembrance Alliance, IHRA, definition of anti-Sim that has been adopted by dozens of countries, including the United States. The point. All right, let me highlight it. The point here. All right, it says the IHRA definition is anti-Sim is a certain perception of the Druze, which may be expressed as hatred towards Druze. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Sim are directed toward the Druish and non-Druish individuals and or their property, toward Druish community institutions and religious facilities. You see that? So they've created a whole hedge of protection for these goddamn devils. All right, because hey, we're getting ready to see, okay, these videos, the exposure, our videos removed off the platform, man. And this is why, before we get the scripture, Amos 8 up. Before we get the scriptures, I got to read this too, because it all goes hand in hand. So this is from republicworld.com. It says, Elon Musk announces Content Moderation Council. You see all these damn confederacies, councils, leagues, all right? All because of what? The truth. Elon Musk announces Content Moderation Council for Twitter. Here's what it means. Content Moderation Council of Twitter includes advisory groups that look at topics online such as online safety and harassment, human and digital rights, etc. All right. One more point before we grab the scripture. All right. It says the point. All right. Bear with me. I thought I had it highlighted. All right. It says Musk in the tweet, although noted that, quote, no major content moderation change or account reinstatements will happen before that council convenes. He also clarified that no major decisions will take place before the council convenes first and hold an extensive discussion. While there are no details offered by Twitter's new owner about how the Content Moderation Council will work, here's briefly what it means for the platform, all right? And we ain't got to read all that. So we know that, in the lack of better words, that this is leading to the famine of the word, and freedom of speech is about to change, man.
That's right.
All right, go ahead. I'll get that real quick.
Okay. Hey, you got it, bro? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna add, if I may, also to
You can add go ahead.
Pertaining to the fact that Elon Musk is even allowing these guys to get back onto these platforms, further empowers these people to have reason to do exactly what they're looking to do.
Right.
Because we have to recall back in, what was it, September, you had the Speaker of the House, Karen Jean-Pierre, that said, when you're not with what majority of Americans are, then you know that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so these devils are pretty much allowing this to be established so that they have grounds to enact these policies and councils to do exactly what they're intending for.
These niggas got a league for everything.
Right.
You know, to ultimately, you know, sever the access to the word on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, they know, like guys like Andrew Tate, man, he uses the Bible a lot for his talking points. So the people that align with his views, you know, they could label that extreme, which is what they're trying to say about us, man. You know, This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Yep, go ahead.
So at the end of the day, man, this is all setting up for the pretty much the stifling of the word, man. They want the word to stop going out. And so they're going to, you know, use these different things as an avenue for them to pretty much, you know, control free speech. They're going to outlaw the Bible, which they're starting to do little by little, you know, because you can find different stories of different people being jailed for, you know, their biblical beliefs, you know. And so ultimately they're going to use the Bible as a means to say that, you know, people that believe in the scriptures are extreme, and they're going to say that that's the reason why, you know, the Ish people are being attacked. You know, they're going to say that, you know, that the people that believe in the Bible are going to ultimately come up against America, man, which is why they're going to have to go with the outlawing of the scriptures.
That's it. That's exactly where it's headed. Okay, that shows you that this word has done damage. Right. This word has gone up to the gates of the nobles, pursuant to Isaiah 13:2. All right. So this is the action that they're taking now. They're forming all these different leagues and organizations and councils and confederacies to protect themselves. All right. Because they don't see, the one thing as we've been discussing, the brothers have been pushing, they don't want to deal with the scriptures. All right. When they get on these platforms talking about hate speech and anti this, anti that, they never go into the doctrine. They never go into the scriptures. All right. And they brought it out on the ADL website, but they tried to downplay it as they put the truth out there of what we teach. But in a way, they tried to spin it as if it was lies. You know, how it was presented on the documentation, you know.
They said that it was misinterpretation.
Yeah.
But at the same sentiment, you saying that when they had the situation with, you know, in LA, when they had them the neo-Nazis had that sign over the bridge, calling out the ish people saying that Kanye was right. Why they blur out the Bible verses then? If that was misrepresentation, why didn't you deal with that right then and there? If that's not if that wasn't the case, you know.
Exactly.
But that shows you that damn Esau, he's a hypocrite, man. I got a precept for you.
Yep.
This is Isaiah 29:21. It says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
Yeah, that make a man offender for the word, man. All right, you know, you become a target. All right, because you tell the truth. Have I therefore became your enemy because I tell you the truth? You know, now we are the problem. Now we are the problem of society for simply telling the truth out of the Bible. And like you said, that's a damn shame. I forgot about that. When they had the sign, they blotted out the scripture. That's crazy. That shows you they do not want to deal with the Bible, man. But yet you call yourselves the chosen. You call yourselves the throughs, right? You're supposed to be the people of God, but you won't come out and deal with the scriptures, right? Like I said, these people get on the platform and all they do is talk. They don't never go into the scriptures. They don't never give you. If they're the people, why are they not giving us the true breakdowns? Right?
That's like, you know, every time we've been seeing them try to address this, they'll bring in a rabbi to try to, you know, explain their side of it, but he never touches on the scriptural part to prove their talking points, man. Exactly. He just plays on the sympathy role because these people don't do research. So just because they'll get on the TV screen and play the victim, everybody just automatically feels sorry for them. But this is one of the reasons why, like this thing you have on the screen, a lot of these guys, which I'm willing to bet, the majority of these people that's getting attacked on Twitter, those are bots that they're putting on there to talk shit. But for the little ones that are doing it, like we mentioned, everybody's tired of these ish people crying. So the ones that are speaking out against them, they're just letting them know, like, yo, it's the same sob story, and we're tired of hearing it, man.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Can I get one scripture, Micah 2, 1 through 5, 1 through 4, 1 through 5, real quick. And then we'll finish out a little bit of this ADL video, and then that'll be it, you know.
Done. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Because it is in the power of their hands, man. That's why they're creating all these different leagues and confederacies, man, and councils. They got the power, all right, and they're coming together to stop anybody that's speaking out against them, that's exposing them. See, they got the power, but yet again, they have the power. They're being called out for having the power, right? And now they want to get offended. They want to get emotional, right? You got the power. What's wrong with that, right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away.
Yep.
So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Yeah, that's why Jake got to apologize for being who he truly is. He got to get on the platform and say sorry to these niggas, right? For announcing that he's an Israelite, man, that he's a Hebrew, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go hotly, for this time is evil.
Right. So the Lord said you should not remove your necks. You're not going to slither your way out of this one. Right. You crying all over the internet and all over the media trying to play the victim. This shit ain't going to work. Now, the Lord is forcing you to deal with the truth, man, to deal with the scriptures. All right. That's why this nigga's forming all types of leagues and shit, making teams.
Right.
You know, go ahead.
Verse 4. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields.
All right, and that's the point, man, because a parable, a taunting parable or whatnot, is like mockery, man.
Yep.
You know, and that's what's going on right now. People are finding out that you don't fit the scriptures, that you're not the people, right? You have nothing to do with the Bible, man. You are the Edomites according to the scriptures, man. All right. So that parable is being lifted up against you, and it said with a doleful lamentation. All right. A doleful lamentation is like a great cry, right? People are crying out against you. The world is crying out against you, calling you out. You being exposed. You know, they're tired of being oppressed, right? They're tired of your bullshit, right? Here it is when Jake speak up on anything, everything is labeled hate. Everything is goddamn hate and anti this and anti that. Now that shit is getting played out.
Right.
And all that's doing is rousing Jake up.
Right.
Exactly. Because it's it's really passive aggressive, you know, because when these Edomites say hate, they don't ever come, like the elder had made mention, they don't come against, you know, what Jake is saying with any sound, you know, reasoning. The only reasoning they have is nigga, shut up and stop trying to expose me. You know, that's mean. You know what I'm saying? But in doing so, you know, like as the elder has said, you know, they're having to, you know, take account of what is actually happening. They can no longer try and cast it to the side. They have to deal with these issues directly, and in doing so, they're really ultimately exposing themselves.
Yeah, because for you to come down on everybody, you know, speaking up against you, just further proves the point that everybody's calling you out for. Because, like they all that famous quote, they say that if you want to know who's in power, know who you can't speak about, and they're proving that sentiment to the T. Because anything that you say that goes on the is people, you're hit with anti-Sem shit. Dave Chappelle had that monologue, wasn't nothing offensive at all that he said in that monologue, and yet they're labeling that, you know, hate speech, you know. So that goes to show you, man, they're proving themselves to be the damn devil, man. You know, we ain't gotta say nothing; they're doing it themselves, man.
Exactly, they're proving it to the world. And here's the point. This is at the bottom of that same article. It says, there, quote, there is a direct correlation between social media posts and the continual spike of anti-Sem and the Holocaust denial in 2022. He said in a statement, we need Elon Musk's leadership to serve as a key component of the solution of degrading online hate and anti-Sem. You see?
That's bullshit, because in that same breath, you're talking about hate speech. When the day that Elon Musk took over, they said it was a massive increase of the word nigga being used on Twitter. Why does nobody bring that up? See, you're selective with your outrage on quote unquote hate, because here it is on mainstream media. You can talk all the shit you want about niggas, and there's no action being done. But the moment you speak on these damn small hats, now everybody has to drop what they're saying because it's hurting their feelings, man. That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. And Jake is getting tired of that shit. That's why as we read in that Micah 2, there's a doleful lamentation, all right, that's being cried out against these damn devils. Right? You know? So yeah, we'll finish that out. Y'all brothers got anything else?
No, sir.
All right, so let's finish out a little bit, so we'll wrap it up. All right, let's see if there's any more that could be taken from this video.
And much like the work we're doing together today, that effort both required and benefited from a close partnership with the Jewish community. The main reason I took this job was my belief in the FBI's core values and mission to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. And I think our mission goals gel very well with yours, to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all.
What are these people being oppressed from? You know what I'm saying? What are these people going through? Right? These niggas own every goddamn thing. What do they need to be protected from? Ain't nobody attacking them, man.
Bro,
you know, this is all bullshit, man.
They live in a gated community up in New York. You know, nobody bothers them niggas. Nobody's attacking them, man. You know, it's all just it's a fake cry. They crying crocodile tears because nobody bothers them, man. You know, so that is some bullshit.
Yeah, all because why? They are being exposed of not being the true Israelites.
Precept.
Just calling it straight. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 2, and verse 14. This is really how he's being oppressed, like as the elder said. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Okay. So here it is. You have the men of the Lord that are preaching, all right, the righteousness, the truth. And that's contrary to the way and fashion of Esau.
Right.
So that's the way how he's being oppressed. That's what it is that he's going through that makes him feel like he's a victim, is because he's ultimately being shown for who he really is, man. The damn devil.
Being called out. I got one to add to that.
Yep.
Isaiah 59 and 15. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil, making himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. So pretty much anybody that is speaking the truth and that is going against these devils' narrative, all right, they're being labeled as hate speech, terrorists, extremists, because they all want you to fall in line with what they want, man. So the moment that you come up against the narrative that they have set out for the whole world to follow after, now you're looked at as an enemy to them, because like you said, they're being called out, because the world has the ish people under a magnifying glass now, because everybody's now trying to figure out who you really are. Now that you got Jake coming out and saying that we are the true people, and he doesn't want that, because like you said, he's being shown that he's a counterfeit, man. He's a liar.
That's it. Hey, give it real quick before I play on. Go to Deuteronomy 32 and verse 29. Or Deuteronomy 33, verse 29.
Kind. Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
And thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee. All right. This is why they shook. This is why, all right, they're trying to play the victim, because our enemies are being found as liars. Go ahead.
It says, thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Yeah, and it says, thou shalt tread upon their high places. And in my sword, under that same precept, it says, conquer their places of worship. Right. So going back to what them strongholds, the lies, this fake ass Christianity, these false religions, you being the chosen people, it's all being conquered by the spirit of truth.
That's right.
All right.
And that's one of the reasons we've been such great partners in fighting to stamp out the recent uptick in hate crimes in the U.S. Because both of our organizations understand what can happen when hate is allowed to fester and grow. At the Bureau, we confront that reality from the very moment we bring someone new on board. And I want to thank the ADL today for your support in conducting the training that all of our new special agents and intelligence analysts participate in at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum.
See, that's the whole league. They all involved with this. Right.
And if I could add one quick point, because the history of the ADL has came out and shown that they were only formed to protect the ish people from their crimes, man.
Yep.
So you had it was the main reason it was started from an event where you had a small hat, who was a pedophile. He got caught, and so they formed the ADL to pretty much cover it up so he didn't get prosecuted. And then just from there, it snowballed to what they are now, man. But it's nothing more than just a front to protect them devils from their crimes, man.
It's a cloak, right? It's immunity, right? Going back to Cain, let me get that point, right? This is Genesis chapter 4. All right, this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 14. I start at 13. Genesis 4 and 13, and Cain said unto the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, my punishment is greater than I can bear. All right. So Cain did that wickedness by lying to the Lord and slaughtering his brother, and now he's trying to run away from the judgment, right? Verse 14, but behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face I shall be hid, and I should be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. All right. So unto this very day, he's still on the run. Right. It says, and it shall come to pass that And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. All right. This is why you got a defamation league. This is why you got that immunity, that hedge. Because hey, now you seeing that you're being called out. People are coming after you by revealing and exposing you. You see that? Everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And it says, verse 15, yeah, because people are waking up. It says, in the Lord, verse 15, Genesis 4:15, in the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. You see that? So going back to that hedge of protection that Cain had, right? It's the same thing through what? These councils, these leagues that are being formed. This is a way of him having that hedge, that immunity. You know?
If I could add real quick, the Elder Malcolm said on the comment board, the ADL is like a foreigner screaming diplomatic immunity in a strange land when they commit a crime.
Ooh, man, that's cold. Yeah, that's right. How can you do that? It doesn't make sense. You see, you had a precept out.
Nah, I was gonna highlight that point because that's ultimately what it is, man. It's a hedge for this man to get away with his crimes, man, because the whole world is being exposed to the fact that, like Kanye said, these niggas own everything. They don't want that being brought out, that information being brought out, that they are controlling everything. They don't want that information being brought out. And then ultimately, as we've been bringing out, they're not the people. That's an obvious point, but we're at the point where people are questioning that. So now they have to just go ahead and just cut they got to cut the channels, the brothers bringing out the truth, and then ultimately they're going to cut the internet because the facts speak out against it too, man.
Yep. I just put up the definition of immunity real quick, and we'll finish a little bit more of that video too, and we'll wrap it. But this is the definition of immunity. All right. It says, let's read definition 4. It says exemption from prosecution. See, by them having these leagues and these councils and these confederacies, they're essentially exempt from prosecution. All right. They don't have to be questioned. You know, it says exemption from prosecution granted to a witness to compel him or her to give potentially self-incriminating testimony. That's why they won't deal with the scriptures.
Right.
All right. Because if they dealt with the scriptures, they would be fully exposed. All right. So all this stuff is a distraction to keep people away from the scriptures, man. Okay. It says that otherwise could not be compelled because of the constitutional right against self-incrimination. It says exemption from being sued. Like you said earlier, priest, you know, they formed this thing to cover up their crimes. They can't be sued. Hey, Elder Malcolm just posted some small hats. I forgot. I don't know if it was in New York, New Jersey. They got exposed for sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Right.
You remember years back they struck my video and I brought out that you had a Edomite, or not Edomite. Well, he wasn't Edomite, but a small hat that got arrested for selling. He was selling baby foreskins like pork rinds, man. You know. So anything that they do, bro, is covered up automatically just off the strength of they're the small hats, so they can just get away with it, man. Which shows that they're the ones in power, man.
That's the immunity, man. Let me finish this out. Hey, give me Tazamak just posted Psalm 73:5. Get that real quick.
Yeah, I read
it. It says exemption. It says exemption from obligation or responsibility in any respect. And this is what they have. This is the power that they have. Exemption from obligation or responsibility in any respect conferred by law or a sovereign act, the ADL. Freedom from legal liability. Exemption conferred as from public service or charges or from penalty for any particular act of course or conduct, like you just said, priest, right? This nigga was selling foreskins, baby foreskins as pork rinds, man. Right? You had these small hats that just got rounded up in sex trafficking. You didn't hear none of that on the mainstream news.
Nope.
Right? It says hence special privilege. All right? Liberty to do or refrain from doing any particular thing. Exemption from any natural or usual liability, man. So they got it, man. See? Give me that real quick.
Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
You see that? They're not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued as other men because they have the power. They have the hedge. They have the immunity. They can get away. See?
Mm-hmm.
Because of your work, our new agents and analysts confront the reality of just how widespread anti-Semitism and the willingness to turn hate into action really are. Your work reminds our young people what's at stake, why we all, particularly those of us in law enforcement, must aggressively counter anti-Semitic violence everywhere it appears. Our FBI historian recently pulled the course evaluations written by the very first new agent class to visit the Holocaust Museum more than 20 years ago. And I found one of them particularly striking. That new agent, again, a little over 20 years ago, wrote, "The part that lingers in my memory is the photo of the police officer and the German SS officer standing side by side, and the police officer was failing to protect his own citizens."
Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that shit, man. Y'all get it.
Yeah,
We're gonna leave it there, man. We ain't even about to play into this sob story shit, man. All right. The point is there, man. Lord willing, the lesson is edifying. You know, this show was edifying to all those that tuned in, man. So this is the time we in. All right. No work for Egypt, and ultimately the famine of the word. All right. They're gonna come even more aggressively as we enter into 2023 on these platforms, YouTube, our videos. All right. So this thing is really at the it's at the boiling point. It's at the climax. This thing is really about to go down.
that's
you
right.
know. Y'all brothers got any closing words?
He said everything.
That's it, man. So hey, we pray that this live show was edifying to all those that tuned in. This is the times we in. Take heed. All right, we're gonna close it out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom. Hashem Kakadash. Shalom.